Hello, welcome to the latest episode of the BSB Show. Mr. Burton and I are here at Motorcycle Live at the NEC in Birmingham because today is BSB Day. That means there'll be plenty of riders loitering about, so we can bring you plenty of insight and information and interviews. 4.5 months, I think, now till the start of the new season. Let's see what we can find. You join us on the Bennetts BSB stand, and the show of course runs until Sunday the 26th, so if you haven't yet got your tickets, do so. Come and say hello, we're here all week. Bertie, we've won there's a BSB section of our Bennetts stand, and we've got some display bikes, haven't we? Let's just talk through them. We've got a couple of Ducatis in there, haven't we?
Yeah, so we've got Ben Curry's title winning Supersport bike down the end, V2 Panigale. We've got obviously Tommy Bridewell's championship winning bike. Got Evan Belford's RS250 that he's won the British Talent Cup on.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Aprilia RS660 that Ian Newton's donated us for the week, that's basically going to be used in the new sport bike class for next year.
Yes, and we'll talk more about that later on. So we've got the BSB trophy here as well. That's up for grabs. Obviously, Tommy Bridewell's got his, hasn't he?
He has, in his kitchen.
Yeah, we had a lovely interview with him last time. But in terms of what's happening next year for 2024, we are 139 days away from action.
Yep.
Which seems like a lifetime, but it'll
soon be here.
Soon slide by, won't it?
Yeah.
And we've got some changes for the 2024 calendar. What are they?
Well, we start off on a Spanish holiday, don't we? We all go to Navarra. First time it's probably been used for BSB. So we go there on the 16th of April.
Sounds about right.
Something like that. So there's a 3-day test. I think it might be 2 days for BSB or 1 day then for support classes. I think it's 3 days for BSB, Monday to Wednesday. The Thursday is the support class test. Yep. Friday off for everybody, and then Saturday, Sunday racing.
So it's not a 3-day weekend, is it?
Not a 3-day weekend because you've got
support classes.
Yeah, well, less support classes, but also you've got 3 days of testing before, basically.
Of course. Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. More time on track for the guys, especially for the BSB guys anyway. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it really. 2 races as well, so not 3. I believe, which is the thing.
So this is a track that has been used for motorcycle racing before, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, World Superbike's been there. CEV's been there, which is the Spanish Championship. Kyle Ride was obviously very quick in testing there at the start of this year, 23, purely because he'd been there before in Spanish Championship. So
it's Motorsport Vision, MSV, who own BSB, who own the track, and that's part of the reason why we're going there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, basically. I mean, it would be silly not to. Obviously, MSV bought it for a reason.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it'd be nice. A different circuit on the calendar to go to. Bit of a shame that we're not going to Silverstone. It is the iconic home of British motorsport, really. But it's nice to see something new on the calendar. Yeah,
and it's a new circuit, and it's very much a European-style track, isn't it?
Yeah. It is, yeah.
Which makes a bit of a difference to what we usually see. You know, it's very, very different to the likes of Knock Hill or Cadwell Park. And of course, Silverstone, which I think a lot of the riders don't necessarily love because it's all right-handers.
The national circuit at Silverstone, it's just a triangle, really. So it's not as good as the main circuit, the big Silverstone circuit, but unfortunately the big Silverstone circuit is just so expensive to hire. But like I say, it is exciting to be going to Navarra, different circuit completely. The first corner, if nobody's ever seen it before, the first corner is completely flat out in top gear, from what I believe. Jack Kennedy says it's quite scary when you first hit it, first time flat out. So that'd be something quite cool to go and see. And I think you can stand right on the top of the roof and see right down onto the first corner of the pit building. So that'd be quite cool.
So there'll hopefully be some opportunities for BikeSocial members, but they're yet to be announced.
They're all yet to be announced, yeah. Hopefully in the new year at some point.
Yeah. So keep your eye out on the website and on the social media to learn about what BikeSocial members can get at Navarra. But that's some time away yet. Like I said, 139 days. Actually, and then the season actually starts. Well, the first time we'll see officially the bikes on track will be at Donington, won't it? April the 6th and 7th, I think.
Yep.
You mentioned Jack Kennedy. That leads us nicely into rider movements for the new year. Yep. So, well, let's start with Jack Kennedy. So he's moved from the Superbike class back to his old happy hunting ground, hasn't he?
He has, yeah, back into Supersport for this year on the CBR 600, the all brand new CBR 600 as well. For next year.
This is with a factory Honda team, isn't it?
Factory Honda team, yeah. At the minute, there is 5 guys in there.
Yeah, we're expecting another announcement, aren't we? With one more, but that's
potentially we're not too sure yet. So that'll hopefully be coming out soon.
But the five are
Jack Kennedy, Supersport. You've got Dean Harrison Superbike, Andy Irwin in Superbike, and then obviously McGuinness, just the ever-present McGuinness,
and
Nathan Harrison. Yeah.
So you've got a roads team and a race team all kind of in one. It's a big setup, isn't it, down at Honda?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of not news, isn't there, really? Because we haven't heard from PBM as to whether they're going to continue.
Yep.
And therefore we don't know what Glenn Irwin's going to do.
No. I think you would probably imagine Glenn is holding out to find out what PBM are going to do. We also don't know what TAS Racing are going to be doing. We haven't really heard from some of the sort of smaller teams in the championship, shall we say. But we do know that Danny Kent's gone to Martrain.
Yes.
We do know that Kyle Ryde and Ryan Vickers are in OMG, which is the factory outfit.
Because Raceways have gone, and now the Yamaha support has gone through to
through to OMG.
Yeah,
so they're now the factory-backed outfit, shall we say.
And is there a degree of backing with that Martrain team now as well?
A little bit, yeah. So it's a bit of secondary backing. They've got a little bit more support, I believe, from Yamaha.
And they've got the McCann sponsorship too.
They've got McCann sponsorship in there. That was announced recently. They've also got Chris Anderson in there as crew chief. And that team is basically being run out of MSS Performance, about 8 miles up from our office.
It's quite
so
handy.
If we ever need anything, we'll be going straight up there to see Spanner. I think there'll be a lot more coming out just before the new year and after the new year for rider movement.
Of course, there's the Completely Motorbikes Kawasaki team, the FS3 team with O'Halloran and Max Cook. That was announced a while back. We've now seen the bike, haven't we? And it's traditional green.
Yeah, looks quite nice, I think.
Very much so. Yeah, very much so. We've had several of the Pathway guys announced, haven't we? So Billy McConnell's coming back for another go.
Coming back into Superbike, but in the Pathway class.
Yeah, that's with Jackson Racing, isn't it?
That's with Jackson Racing, with his teammate Jamie Van Sikelrus.
Yeah.
Try saying that after a few beers. He's going to be in Superbike for the first time after running Supersport for the last few years. I think they're the only ones that have been announced in the Pathway class so far. Don't think there's anybody officially been announced.
There's Cade Verwey, isn't there?
Oh yes, I forgot about that one. Sorry. Yeah. So Cade Verwey has signed
Tactics.
Tactics. Lloyd Jones, PR Racing. I know them as. Yeah, he's in there for next year. They're yet to announce their full-on Superbike rider, so don't know who that is.
No.
I believe it's Luke Mossey, but I'm not too sure. It's not been officially announced, but I believe it's going to be Luke.
So there's still a few balls in the air, aren't there? Really?
Yeah.
And are we expecting any new teams to be announced? Anyone else to come in? There's rumours.
There is rumours of a team being run by a certain
former
6 time. I can't remember how many championships he's won, but yeah, there is rumours of Shaky Byrne running a team. Whether if that happens or not, I'm not sure. I did see on his Instagram the other day that he was in Italy at Yamaha, so who knows what will happen. But it would be nice to see a new team come into the championship, because I think it needs it, really. I think it needs an injection of fresh blood.
Yeah, and of course we've lost like we said, we've lost the Yamaha's main team. Anyway, so here we are, BSB Day. Let's see if there are any riders around to give us some more insight. Tommy, how you doing? It's been a couple of weeks since we last spoke. You've been up to Florida. How was it?
Yes, thank you. I'm all right. Went on holiday with obviously my wife Stace, and back to reality, back to work, back to the grim weather, shall we say. But nice to be here at the Motorcycle Live for sure, and obviously with you guys with Bennetts and BikeSocial. So nice to be back around motorbike.
Good to take a bit of time out to reflect on obviously what was a whirlwind of an end of the 2023 season.
Exactly, yeah. Nice to put my feet up. If I stay at home, I end up just working and training non-stop. So nice to be able to actually go away and reflect back on what we achieved this year. Nice to be able to kind of sit by the pool and look through photos and get sort of hairs on my arms sort of stand up. So yeah, just nice to have that break, but nice to be back. Sort of focused now on getting fitter and better and stronger than ever before.
And what is the plan, Chris, then for the winter? What do you do? What do you train? How do you train?
So just a lot of runs, cycle, swim, gym work. There's a lot of it. Obviously, things are going to be different for next year, so I'll probably be working a lot closer with a fitness trainer as well. Just a lot of areas I want to really be no stone unturned. So yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to that getting underway, probably early Jan at least. And then just kind of come out swinging. I got a target on my back. I've got a big number one, and I want to defend my title.
Now, the obvious question, of course, is you and your number one. Where will you be riding for the 2024 season? Can you tell us yet?
I can't tell you yet. I wish I could. I'm still working on it. In truth, nothing's confirmed. There's a lot of a lot of question marks around options, obviously with Ducati. I've made no secret that I'm in talks with other manufacturers and other teams. I just need to see what suits me best as a rider and what suits, you know, my career best, and what I believe and what I think and know I can defend my title with, because I have a goal now. I have the British Championship. I want to defend it under the number one, and then I want to revert as defending my championship, revert back to number 46 for 2025 will be. So I have the plan. I just need to make sure I can defend the championship. So whatever I end up doing next year, the package I will be sure that I'll be able to do that. So looking forward to getting it ironed out, and looking forward to the news coming out, because I think it'll be good.
Have you got a date in the diary we can all mark?
Early December. Early December will be something I will announce, whether I've got something to announce or not. But I know, and I'm very, very sure that by the sort of first week of December, I feel I should have something to announce, and looking forward to sharing that with everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Cheers, guys.
So Ryan, first of all, thank you very much for joining us here at Motorcycle Live 2023. Just obviously it's BSB Day, but first of all, sum up 2023 from your point of view, because really it was a decent season for you all in all.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we made the big change, you know what I mean? Like, we've done a few years in Superbikes, I've shown that it can be fast, not so much consistency, and, you know, changing bikes, changing teams, didn't really find what suited me, you know? And then joining the OMG racing team, they'd just come off the back of the championship. I knew it was going to be a good chance that I was going to have my best year. I didn't know how good, didn't expect anything like we did, to be fair. I think the goal maybe we had in mind was maybe try get a podium and, you know, be a consistent top 10, top 8 finisher, and we was a consistent top 4 or top 5 finisher, and yeah, 6 podiums and 2 wins. So it was yeah, really, really successful season. Loved every minute, and it's just nice that we've made that step now. Now next year we're going to fight for the championship, and that's the.
Do you feel at home at OMG? Because it is really a proper family outfit, isn't it? Really, it feels like that anyway from the outside.
Yeah, exactly. I've had a relationship with Alan Gardner and also Dave Harris, my crew chief, for quite a while. You know, Dave I met a few years ago. We went out enduro riding, and we had a bit of a mega day together then, and that's I've had a good relationship with Dave since then, and I've always looked at him as someone that I'd love to work with, you know, and we just have a good laugh, you know. We have a good laugh. Everybody's so professional when they need to be, but we also have a really good time, and I think that's brought out the best in me. I'm so much more relaxed, I'm not tense, you know, and with Roger Marshall and stuff like that in the team, with the whole team, there's not a single person that we could do without, you know what I mean? Like, everybody does their job and everybody has a really good role, and we just get on really well, which makes the team sort of flow great.
Let's look at it then for next year. Let's call you a factory rider, because that's essentially what you are. Are you looking forward to being that sort of spearhead of the factory team, shall we say?
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, there's probably not going to be that much difference in the bike, but you know, the team went over to the factory in Italy last week, and they had some really good meetings, and we were going to have access to any of the parts that we want, and we've got a few things in mind that we want to try for sure. And you know, the testing, there's not too much testing available, so we've got a good bike, and we know that we can bolt that setting in at round 1 and it's going to work. So the testing that we go out to do in Navarra is going to be purely testing new items. I think the guys are going to build 2 bikes, so we can really back-to-back different things, different engines, whatever we've got to try. There's lots of things that are on the list, and hopefully we can just get through as much of that list before the season starts, and then we don't have to be worrying about it in the season.
It's going to be a real busy testing schedule, because really you've only got 5 days, I think, before the start of the season. Is it frustrating for you as a rider to not have as much testing time as what you've had before?
I think if it was the same as what it is, but then we got that extra test that we did at the start of this year, like me and the team went and did a private test at Andalusia, 3 days on track, you know. If I didn't have that, and it was my first time on the bike at Navarra, I think it would have put us on the back step a little bit, but it allowed us just to go somewhere where there's no pressure, nothing. It just allows you to get used to the bike, and then that would be a different situation to this year. We'd go there and we'd really use that to go through our parts list, you know, and build the best bike we can. But obviously that's not allowed this year, and we're not going to go out before Christmas. Also, the weather in Spain isn't great at the minute. You know, I think a few guys are going to Jerez next week, and you know, Jerez at its best at times can be cold and damp in the mornings, and the track don't dry properly. So, you know, I hope they get a lot of laps, but it's probably doubtful it's going to be 3 days of sunshine and dry track, because even Spain can be a bit funny this time of year. So, yeah, it is what it is. Same for everyone. We've got a good bike, and the team know exactly what they need to do with it. We've just got to understand if the new parts are going to make it any better, and try to get through as much as possible.
What's the aim? But obviously, you're going to say win the championship, but have you got sort of set goals in your mind ahead of next year?
No, not really. You know, we're there to win the championship. That is the goal. I know there's another 20 people on the grid that have got the same goal, but I think after this year, it's a realistic goal. You know, we've run at the front. We've not just had a couple of podiums. We've been in that 4 or 5 every practice session, qualifying, races. Every time we've been there. And there might be a few other people in that group next year, but I don't think we're going to be any further away. So hopefully we can make the bike a little bit better. I don't know, I think the rules are changing slightly with the Ducati and stuff like that. Is it going to make a difference? I don't know. At the end of the day, I've got to prepare to be riding against the same bike that I was this year. And if we can make our bike a little bit better, I can make myself a little bit better, then we was only looking for a tiny bit, and hopefully we can come out on top.
Fantastic. Well, Ryan, thanks very much for your time. Good luck in 24.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Dean, first of all, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations, factory Honda rider for 24.
That's it.
You said to me a few days ago that it's not really going to sink in until you get your gear. You've got your gear, is it sunk in yet?
Yeah, no, I've got my gear now, so no, I feel a bit more official now. I've got a jacket and a t-shirt, so no, I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. It's great. It's quite overwhelming, really, how busy it is in here and things like that. Looking at the new bikes, nice, so I'm looking forward to the year ahead.
How much is it exciting you developing a brand new bike?
That was one of the biggest things, really. Brand new bikes out, a new 600's out, new super stock, everything's new, so it's nice to start with a clean slate and sort of try and hit the ground running, sort of go from there, really.
What are you looking forward to most this year, or should I say in 24, because full-time British Superbike rider as well as full-time road rider?
I'm looking forward to obviously having a teammate, working with new people, and all the things of how different teams work internally and things like that. I'm sort of excited to see all that side of things, so I'm just looking forward to the first test now.
When is the first test then? When are you going to get out on it? Because I know there's a bit of a blanket ban on BSB testing, but you as a road rider, you can technically test, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what? I don't know. I mean, nothing's been 100% confirmed yet, so that's all still being sorted out and organised at the minute. So I'm just looking forward to that to be announced and then get on the bike.
And having the national treasure as a teammate as well. Well, he calls himself a national treasure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No,
how nice is that going to be for you? Because I know you're really friendly with John, aren't you?
Yeah, no, really good friends on and off track. So no, I'm looking forward to working with John and doing other various things and things like that. So no, it's exciting times.
Looking at BSB then, got quite a quick teammate in Andy Irwin.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to drive you along that, isn't it? Because I mean, we spoke in the week and you said that you really want to put more of an effort into the BSB job because you want to do better.
Yeah, exactly that. You want to do the best that we can at everything that we do. And having a teammate is good because I'll be able to see what he's doing and maybe I'm not doing, or vice versa and things like that. And hopefully it might help us both, but hopefully it'll help bring me along and try and get me to the level where I want to be.
Perfect. Well, Dean, I'll not keep you too long because I know you've got other places to be. Thank you very much for your time. Good luck in 2024.
Cheers, thank you.
Glenn, thanks for coming on the show. Tell me, you've had time to reflect now. It's been a fair few weeks now since the end of the season. How's it been? Do you take a bit of time out to reflect on what happened?
Not too much reflection really, because it was what it was. We finished second. Is like the standout kind of, yeah, that's where your position was. But oh no, it was an amazing season. You know, I think things that you do reflect on when they become apparent to you is when people tell you, oh, you had 18 podiums this year, you had 10 wins, you led more laps than anyone, and then you won your 2 Northwest wins. So yeah, I guess, okay, a little bit of reflection as in what we achieved. That's mint. And then you get bored because you're not riding any motorbikes, and I'm just thinking about riding my bike next year again.
We just set off camera. There's 139 days until Donington, the first test. You've got Ducati written across your chest. We haven't heard any form of announcements yet from PBM or yourself. What will happen? Can you tell us yet?
Well, I was wearing All Saints when I arrived, but obviously as part of your contract for this year, you would be on the Ducati still, so they gave me this, which is nice. They took the label off, which annoyed me because we're going to sell it at the end of the day, because that's expensive, isn't it? No, I'm joking. I did say that to them when they took the label off, but no, I've no ink to paper as such. Obviously, I love the Paul Bird Motorsport team. I've done, they were my first Superbike team. I love working with the Bird family, everyone involved. There's a lot of staff been there forever. Johnny Moat, Phil Borley, my crew chief, all the mechanics, everyone. I would absolutely love to continue there, but that obviously remains to be seen whether the team go race or not. I think that's their intention. They're going through a lot, let them grieve, let them do whatever else. I'm sure if that didn't happen, I think a few contracts will be ripped up and me and Tommy Bridewell find a ride somewhere. I think I know where he's going.
But tell me about your winter. What does the winter look like for you in terms of training, in terms of relaxing, in terms of family time, in terms of prepping?
I took a week off the gym, and then that's kind of like most people taking a week off work. So like if you're a school teacher, it'd be like knocking into school for a week, and you start to twiddle your thumbs, you don't know what to do. So I'm going back to the gym. I've been back flat out. Not training where you would go, I'm training way too early, I'm going to peak. I'm not doing any cardio, my heart rate hasn't been high, I'm just lifting like heavy weights and enjoying doing that. I'm going to keep doing that till the end of January. I changed a lot of my approach this year. I used to go hard from the 1st of January, but by the time round one comes, you're like nearly too fit, and you can't sustain it. So I've got a stag do in the end of January in Thailand for my brother, so 17 of us going there, that'll be fun. No doubt be a few beers, so keep doing the weights until we go there and then come home and worry about getting fit and winning this championship.
Fantastic. We can't wait to hear what's going to happen in 2024. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, Michael. Thank you. Thanks.
Jason, you're at the blue and in the green already. It's obviously not familiar with seeing you in that colour. How is it working out for you? Are you excited for next year?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to next season. Still doesn't feel quite normal putting on a Kawasaki shirt just yet. I was here yesterday, here today, second day in green. It feels good. It just doesn't feel quite normal yet, So once we get out on track and we do a bit of testing, start to work with the team, it'll start to feel more normal. And yeah, looking forward to what's to come.
So we've seen the new bike, we've seen the new colours. Have you had a chance to ride it yet?
Yeah, so I got out immediately after Brands went to Donington. Had a one day on a track day. Just basic stuff, handlebars, seats, just try and get a general riding position, which we did pretty quickly. Had a good feel for the bike and really enjoyed it. Enjoyed working with the crew. Off to Jerez tomorrow, so we'll join the KRT guys this week for a 2-day test at Jerez. And yeah, looking forward to starting that.
What are you riding? You're riding the full Superbike?
So I ride full Superbike. Yeah, start building the foundations for next year. It's nice to get out early, nice to get on a KRT test, and start working with the guys and yeah, seeing how we go on.
Are you going to be working with the KRT boys? Is it the idea is that you group together?
Yeah, so the Kawasaki team in the UK has a link with KRT. Obviously the regulations are different. I'm sure they're going to give us a lot of information. Going to get to work with them through the week, which will be good. But mainly just to work with our guys, and to start to get familiar with my team, get familiar with my bike, and yeah, see how things progress. But something I'm really excited about, and can't wait to get started.
I think we worked out it was about 139 days to go until the Donington test. At what stage is it up to T-1 almost? Do you then start setting yourself your own goals for next year?
It feels a bit strange at the minute because although I've been to Australia, I've not really stopped because I knew this test was coming up. So I've kept training, I've kept the mind going on sort of this year sort of thing. So I'm going to get this test done this week, have a couple of weeks off after it, reset, start to plan next year, pre-season, my training, what riding I'm going to do, and then set the targets for the year really. And always got the same target, always want to be champion. Easier said than done. So we'll make our strategy and yeah, see how we go.
How does your winter training look? What will you be focusing on?
Winter training for me these days is just cycling. I love cycling. Got into it again a couple of years ago, back in 2019. Fell in love with it. it's as much of a hobby as what it is training for me. So it's quite nice to get out on the bike, especially when you're in a warm, sunny climate like Australia. It's get out early, get some sunshine. It's just beautiful. I love it. So mainly focused on cycling. I do some gym stuff as well, but I've been doing it for a long time now. So you got to enjoy what you're doing as training. Otherwise, you burn yourself out. So cycling's the #1 thing for me.
I bet it's nice having a bit of downtime at home, in inverted commas, but back in Australia.
I've never gone from a race meeting to a test and swapped teams, manufacturers, so it's a strange, it was almost like just blink of an eye, bang, you're hour one into the other. But it was good. But yeah, going to Australia was good because you digest the year. Obviously it was a different scenario. When you change teams, it's normally because they're letting you go or you're moving on. Well, that wasn't the case this year. The team was stopping, so it was natural for me to have to find a new seat, which I did it quite early, which was nice. And yeah, the time out there let me think about Havier coming up and look forward to what's to come. But when you spend 5 years on the same bike, same team, we've had a lot of success there. It's all new to me now, I know absolutely nothing about the Kawasaki. It's a blank sheet of paper. I'm going to have to lean on the people in the team for their experience on the ZX10, and I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be exciting few weeks.
You've also had a chance to ride it already, as you just said. What are the main differences between the sort of the inline four and the crossplane cranked R1?
The biggest thing for me, I've said it to a few people now, is the noise. As in, you get so used to hearing an R1 in your ear, and you rev it to the rev limiter, and it doesn't even feel like it's revving. As in, it's almost like a low tone. It's a you know what they sound like. And then you get on the Kawasaki, and the thing feels like it's going to explode. Not explode, but it just sounds like it's revving its brains out. But it's not. It's just the way the engine's working. So the biggest thing is just changing the tone in your ear, getting used to where you shift gears, how the bike reacts. But my initial feeling was good, and when you get on a bike for the first time and you have a good initial feeling, that's a strong thing. It was quite clear to see the benefit of the strength of the bike quite straight away. And then there was a few areas where I would like to work on probably from my style, being on the Yamaha, trying to sort of switch that over to the Yamaha, switch over to the Kawasaki, sorry. So I think it's going to take, it's like anything, it's going to take a little bit of time to adapt. But I think it's going to be strong and it's going to be a good package.
Just a quick word finally on the first round of next year. Now, am I right in thinking you didn't do the Navarra test, did you, beginning of 2023? What are your thoughts about going to Spain for round one?
Yeah, obviously exciting new track. Never been there before, so we'll be a little bit on the back foot for that one. But I don't think anyone's done a lot there. Only the test at the start of this year. A little bit strange starting British Championship in Spain. I enjoy the Spanish testing side of things. To race there and then come back and sort of start the season is a little bit odd, but BSB know what they're doing. They do a good job. So turn up, race where we need to race, and enjoy it and do the job.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for joining us. On the eve of the 2024 BSB season, just announced the new rider lineup for next year with 5 riders. Got a bit of a job on with that one. Just talk us through it, because it's quite a lot of riders in one team.
For sure. Hey, listen, it's great to be here on BSB Day here at Motorcycle Live. Like I say, 5 rider lineup. We've got a lot of work to do for sure. But starting through, introduction of the CBR 600. Signing Jack Kennedy there to do a job for us there. Who better than Jack, 4 times British Superbike champion. We've got a lot going on there with the next generation specification and the rules and all of that introduction into it. And then teammates, with Dean and Andrew with Superbike. Again, new specification Fireblade. So again, we've got a lot of work to do there. Then that transition, if you like, into Superstock for the roads and Superbike for the roads. So, like I say, we've got a lot on our plate. Big team, big crew, people behind it. looking forward to it.
We spoke to John just before the announcement, and he was saying that you took them into a room and just sat them down and just said, lads, we've got a great team here. And he said it was actually really motivational. He said the suite that you took him in is normally the bollocking suite, is what he calls it. But he said it was actually really motivational. How frustrating last year was it for you to see, I wouldn't say the lack of progression, but it was just a difficult year all around for Honda Racing, wasn't it?
It was. Well, first of all, it's first time for John being in the Hellwood suite and being in that situation, so I'm sure he's pleased with that. No, but listen, you know, it's a big team. There's a lot going on, and the whole idea when we had the photo shoot and everything there is get behind the guys, talk through what we're trying to achieve, where we want to go, the road, the journey, the path, everything else. And it's great to see all 5 of them gelling, working together in the way we are.
New bike for next year, new Fireblade, let's talk about that. How much of a step forward is it going to be for you as a team? A bit more of added motivation as well to develop what is necessity a brand new bike, really. How much are you looking forward to that in the process?
We are really looking forward to the team. For Honda, there's lots of firsts that have gone on and taken place with this new generation Fireblade. Now, for us, for that transition into racing, are lots of things that we need to learn and understand. With the rules, the way the rules are, the way the changes to the bike, we believe we are going to be in a good place. However, there are some fundamental challenges for us. So as a team, with that coming into BSB for next year, it's key that we get some mileage under our belts, if you like, understand the bike, and again, time's going to tell.
Just quickly then, finally, how important is Dean going to be to the process? Because I know there is a testing ban on BSB riders, but Dean is a roads rider as well. So how important is he going to be to the development of the Fireblade for Andrew and for everybody else?
You know, we've got to look at what we're going to do from a kit point of view, from a BSB spec point of view for the roads. We've run both. We've used the HRC kit and we've used Motec. For sure, we want to continue with the kit stuff at the moment because of the way all the electronics, this fly-by-wire throttle system works, all the engine brake strategies and everything else. We really want to understand that in a kit form before we move anything to Motec. So, you know, for sure, Dean will have a kit spec bike and we'll have a kit stock and a super sport bike for the 3 bikes, 3 riders to evolve and test and run around. But having Dean on board for us, from a roads point of view, is a massive step for us, and I'm really looking forward to working with Dean, but also having Nathan underneath the wing, and then I've got the senior man himself, John, there to oversee.
The national treasure, as he
calls
himself.
Yeah, the national treasure, yeah. So, you know, again, from the outside, it's the dream team, really.
Finally then, how much are you looking forward to this year, personally? Not just for the racing.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the change, the challenge, the motivational side of it, the whole structural change that we're going to have to implement here at Louth. But I'm really looking forward to it.
Perfect. Well, Tom, thanks very much for your time. Good luck in 24.
Thank you.
Well, we've come across Mr. James Whitham. Thank you, sir, for joining us. James, there's 3 new classes, aren't there, for 2024? Yep. And should we start at the bottom? You're okay to give us a brief explanation as to what they may be?
Yeah, well, I think starting at the bottom, you mean the Tracker British Super Team Championship, and that's the bottom in a couple of ways because it'll be the youngest riders, very much entry level into BSB, open just to younger riders. The bike's going to be a ZX4RR. Which is a beautiful little Kawasaki. What I love about it is it's not a twin. This thing is a 4-cylinder, screams at about 16,000 RPM. They sound brilliant, and I think that's going to be what they're trying to do is get back to the original Super Team concept, and so many good riders came through that, including our own James Hayden. So that's going to be a cracking little class. It is.
And it's one make series, isn't it? So it should make it even closer racing.
Exactly that, and cheap to run. You're not allowed to tune the bikes out of control, so the engines are going to last all year. It's going to be a proper entry level.
Is that that's same? So your next step up, isn't it, from the British Talent Cup? Is that how that would work theoretically?
I think you could.
Or is this a different way in?
Things have changed a little bit. We've seen riders going from junior superstock, which 125, 130 brake horse, and jump straight up into the superbike class that's probably got twice as much power. So I think where you go from the British Super Teams is kind of up to you and what you want, but I think there's various paths up into British Championship then.
One of which, of course, is what you're sitting on right now. We've got the Yamaha R7 and it forms part of the
sport bike class.
Sport bike class.
Yeah, which is the Pirelli National Sport Bike class. This is a completely new concept based on the thinking that the traditional 600cc sport bike and 1 litre sports bikes are not selling as much as what they were, let's say, in number. These things are. So mostly twin cylinder. So eligible bikes. Honda's got a bike that is going to be eligible. So Suzuki, Yamaha's going to be thinking at the minute that might be the bike of choice. We don't quite know because the regulations aren't just nailed down. 95 to 100 brake horsepower, that's a good class. For me, this is going to be a really, really good class.
It's a class that's been popular in America, isn't it?
It is.
Last year.
Exactly that. And for me, it's a class that has to happen because these are the types of bikes that's selling at the minute and everybody produces one. So
fantastic. Guaranteed it's going to be a great series.
I think it's going to be cracking, yeah.
And then we've got a sort of a subclass of superbikes, haven't we? We saw a little bit at the end of the 2023 season, and it's called Pathway. One
of the best subscribed, if you like, best attended classes at in the BSB paddock is the National Superstock 1000cc. Pathway idea is trying to, encourage, entice some of the super stock teams and riders up into the big class, into Superbike, without having to spend probably 80, 90 grand on a bike and have all the sort of expensive crash damage that is encompassed in a full-on Superbike. It's a separate class within a class, and I'm generally not a fan of that, to be honest. I like to see the race up front that is the race. However, I think the concept is really good, and I think it's not just about riders having a smaller step into Superbike from Superstock. It's about the teams as well. Mechanic, crew chief, suspension man, engine man, data man, and general running of a team than there is just riders moving up. It's the whole team that this pathway is endeavouring to entice up into Superbike class.
So it's the teams have got to pick the right manufacturer bike, or is any bike eligible?
They're on controlled electronics. That isn't the case within Superstock 1000. And that's going to be the biggest difference. There's also other things you can alter, but you can't. It's not going to be the case when the pathway teams with the most money will get the nearest to a Superbike. It's a little bit more thought out than that, and a little bit more basic for them.
So it's yet another section of the British Superbike Championship that's going to be, enticing was the word you used, to watch. It's going to be mega, isn't it, next year?
Yeah, it is. I think it's going to be a cracking season next year. I think that already I'm hearing there's quite a few Superstock 1000 teams, and I say teams because teams and riders, it's not just about the riders, isn't Pathway, that are really interested in doing that. Obviously, the sort of idea and the carrot for those teams is they get more exposure on TV, they get more track time, and they're part of what is the Premier class.
Brilliant. James, thank you so much for your time.
Cheers.
Chris Newell, brand manager extraordinaire. Now, the sign above our heads over here says 18,000 customer experiences. That's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been some achievement this year. That's 7,000 more than the previous year. And something, we work really hard with both internally at Bennetts, but also with the MSV staff. Our motto is trying to get customers and BikeSocial members close to the action. And yeah, this year we've overachieved really. That's a fantastic target, a fantastic goal of ours to do that. And we've done it through many ways. One addition being the pit perch this year. You can walk across pit lane, up onto the pit wall, and within touching distance of some of the best domestic racing in the world. And we're really proud of what we've achieved. I don't think there's many race series in the world that can allow that level of access, and at a cost of where you either buy your insurance directly through our website or you buy the annual membership subscription.
Just quickly running through them then, we've got pit perch, well not all of them of course, there's plenty of them. Pit perch, grid access,
priority pit walks. We have the pit boxes, our garages, where we've had them at Donington, Brands, other tracks, and you can walk into one of our garages and then walk out into pit lane, watch to your heart's content, not just the pit lane activity, but then trophy presentations, winners enclosure. You just are at the heart of the action. But this year as well, we've done some parade laps. You've joined us on some parade laps on some of your long-term bikes. Priority pit walks, pit lane tours, rider meet and greets,
course car.
hospitality.
If you're into BSB, then this is the place to be, right?
Yeah,
and then more for next year.
That's the plan, yeah. We're keen, obviously we do a massive quantity of experiences and we're keen to attain that, but also look at other sort of, you know, real quality, more sort of smaller experiences that are really, really bespoke. So we're just trying to get that balance of experiences where we can cater for a mass of people that do arrive to the rounds. And that's one thing we did this year. You know, we email a lot of customers in advance saying you've won these experiences that they've entered for in advance of the rounds. But we wanted to not alienate customers that show up at different parts of the weekend and just wanted to jump on the experience. So this year we've introduced these sort of bespoke viewing areas, exclusive viewing areas, one being at Alton Park above Pit Lane, one being at Thruxton, which, you know, Stuart Higgs alluded to. That's an incredible place, the church corner, the fastest corner, he thinks, on one of the UK circuits. And for us to have our customers standing there watching a session is just phenomenal.
It's only the marshals who get to watch from there.
Only the marshals that get to watch from there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at some more bespoke experiences, some real access to some of the paddock area that we haven't been and experienced before, but also look at these opportunities that are so it's exclusive viewing areas and really open the series up more than ever. So yeah, I'd like to just really thank still the Bennetts staff this year that have helped the customers and members get this close, but also the series and Stuart for helping us open the championship into a place, you know, there's new boundaries we've broken this year that we never thought was possible. So
brilliant, more the same next year, fantastic. So if you've not got your BikeSocial membership, if you've not yet applied for a BSB experience, then do keep an eye out on our social media feeds and also on the website and the BikeSocial site and the Bennetts site. So yeah, go and get your insurance from Bennetts and go and get your BikeSocial membership as well. We'll be back for more BSB Show in 2024. We'll have a season preview. We'll be filling you up with all the news and reviews of each round. We'll be getting the latest rider interviews as well as we head towards Donington Park, 6th and 7th of April for the first test and then the first round at Navarra in Spain. Any thoughts, comments, questions or queries, of course, as usual, leave them in the section below. If you want to see anything more on this show, any particular riders or particular teams, wherever they are in the paddock and whichever support series or in Superbike paddock, then just let us know. See you next time. Let's go, Bertie, let's go. Jason, funny to see you in green, not blue anymore. Tell me about... Oh, look, we've got an interloper already. We'll start again. Where am I looking? We're going to do a separate outro. Which one? The one that you're on.